Coming down in 3, 2, 1. Hey yo, what's up everybody? It's me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and welcome to 5 Things right here on FantraxHQ. Today's team is the Indianapolis Colts. Ooh, man, it is a rough weekend for Colts fans. Their franchise quarterback retired, and let's start with that because that's number 1 on these 5 things. And where do you go from here? Well, if you're like me, you had a ton of shares because you were getting them cheap in Superflex leagues on Andrew Luck, and you figured, wow, maybe he doesn't play week 1, so what? I miss him. I still get Andrew Luck for maybe 14 weeks of the year, 15, who knows? Not so much the case now. So where do we go? And it's Jacoby Brissett. I mean, we have to live in the now, and Jacoby Brissett is a mobile little quarterback. He's got a fair amount of weapons there, but he's not Andrew Luck. This is a problem. It's a huge issue. So the pivot, I don't believe, is directly to Brissett. In fact, I think the pivot might be to Daniel Jones, who I think is going to get a shot sooner than later with the New York Giants. So if you're an Andrew Luck owner in a Superflex League, I think you start looking for Rosen, Daniel Jones, some of those next-tier younger quarterbacks. I don't know if Brissett maybe could be that Band-Aid short-term, but I think you want to project a little bit into the future of the 2019 season. That's where it gets a little tricky. That's where you got to start thinking about. Now, single quarterback leagues, this sucks, but you could certainly come back from it. So there's probably guys out there, maybe Kirk Cousins is on the wire, maybe Winston. I doubt Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, but they could be. But there's certainly enough quarterback depth in single quarterback leagues to do what you need to do. Maybe even Mitchell Trubisky, who I think is ready to take a step forward. So there's a lot of options. So what does this mean, number 2, for Marlon Mack? Well, it means less touchdowns because they're not going to move the ball as much. So you should move him down your draft board because it just makes sense. This is not going to be the same offense. Now, granted, they're a better team, better offensive line, better weapons. Jacoby Brissett is capable, but he's not Andrew Luck, so you got to scale him back. Which brings us to number 3, T.Y. Hilton. What do you do with him? Well, I think you got to bring him down to probably a wide receiver, low-end 2 wide receiver range, somewhere on there. If you ask me, would I rather have Mike Williams or T.Y. Hilton? I'd rather have Mike Williams. If you ask me, would I rather have Calvin Ridley or T.Y. Hilton? I'd rather have Calvin Ridley. So for me, he's after that group now. And that's because, look at the quarterbacks, look at the offenses those guys are playing with, and now you've gone from Andrew Luck to Jacoby Brissett. I'm rooting for you, kid. I don't think you're Kurt Warner, but I'm rooting for you. Which brings us to number 4, the ancillary pieces on this team now. So what does this do to Ebron? What does this do to Funchess? What does it do to Paris Campbell? All those shares that people were buying, even the Jack Doyle shares, now everything's come back down way to earth. These are guys that you fade completely as a group. There's no other way you can do that. Maybe you play some matchups here and there. That's the best you can hope for. But overall, I think you kind of just fade the Colts. Maybe take a discount on Marlon Mack. Outside of that, I'm fading this group, including T.Y. Hilton. Which brings us to number 5, the defense. Defense is going to have its work cut out for them now. We like some of the guys on here in terms of ADP. But look, right now, this unit now is going to be going from having leads to now not having leads. And that's going to be a little different. They're going to be taxed a little bit. So this Colts defense that might have had a little bit more appeal in some spots, I think is going to have less too. So the ripple effect of Andrew Luck is enormous. It's less of a ripple and more of, let's say, the Hoover Dam busting wide open and flooding all of Indianapolis. So there you have it. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at JoePisaPS17. You can check out all the great content at FantraxHQ. That'll do it for me. We'll see you next time, kids. Peace.